Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Allie, and today I'm going to be bringing you with me on a shop with me to the store called At Home. Now, this is a huge store. They have tons of different departments, and sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming if you're not quite sure what you're looking for, or even sometimes if you are. So I'm going to be bringing you with me through the different areas, and I'm going to show you what I like in each area, what I might purchase in each area, what I think is worth the money, and what I think is maybe not so much. Then I'll be bringing you back home with me and I'll show you the items that I purchased and give you some styling ideas and things that you can do with these items in your own space. I hope you'll stick with me till the end because I always like to share a healthy recipe with you, and I hope that it gives you a lot of inspiration and great ideas for a healthy summer lunch for you to eat as well. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button and definitely make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. Leave me a comment, let me know what you like. That helps YouTube to know what you like and also helps my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're starting off at the entrance of At Home, and it's a beautiful day. I'm excited to find some good steals on some home items. So walking in, of course, they have their summer stuff out, a lot of bright colors, a lot of chairs for your patio and things like that. And then I was met with this really pretty green palette. So if you're looking for something in the green tones, you can find a lot of things here. Like these are really interesting mint green vases. I don't know if you can tell from the video the exact color, but those would look really pretty if that's your accent color, like in a guest room or maybe a living room. Then we're moving into the black and whites. So this is like more of the moody sort of color tones. I really liked this little basket. I felt like this would be really nice in a guest room. You can use it for magazines, or you can even use it in a powder room to hold things like toilet paper and like messier items. Then I found this piece right here, which I really liked. But you have to pick these items up because you can see like this one has scratches all over it and it was definitely a little bit damaged. So for the price of this, $19.99, I would probably skip this over unless I could find one in better shape than that. And then moving over into the vases, this is a pretty one. I wasn't super crazy about the brush strokes on it, but I liked the neutral tones and it was $19.99. So honestly, for this size, you can tell with my hand in the video, it's really not that big. I would probably find something over at Home Goods that is a little bit bigger, a little bit more substantial for a better price. But I did like this little dimpled bud vase. It had a lot of really nice texture and I liked the neutral color tones. And then moving over to their Honeybloom collection, this is a taper candle holder, and while it is really cute, for $9.99, that was high for me for an item like that. If you watched one of my most recent videos, I found one that I love even more from Hobby Lobby on clearance for, I think, $3.99. So I would look for something like that at Hobby Lobby, to be honest. And then moving down here, these are glass lanterns, and $14.99 is a good price for these. You can use these all season around, all year round, and just change them out based on the seasons. And this is actually how they're supposed to be displayed. So the wood piece is supposed to go on the bottom, although you could use them at the top. So you can place the candle on the top and maybe fill the bottom with some colored stones or even like a floating candle or marbles, something like that. This is a beaded garland, $9.99, so a good price if you need a textural element in your space. I wasn't crazy in particular about the shade of like wood orange that they had there, but it could work depending on where you place it. And then they had all of these really nice orange tone blown glass pieces, and $14.99 for one of these. I would probably do these in a cluster. So if you were looking to bring that color into your space to accent it, like maybe in a kitchen, if you wanted to warm up your kitchen, bring some warm tones there, or a guest room, or maybe even in owner's suite, you can put these together and then maybe in maybe one or two of them actually, just put a single stem, and I think that would look really pretty. So these here are those jugs that we were seeing everywhere, and I really wasn't that impressed with these. $34.99. They looked a little bit fake to me, and I would honestly again go over to Hobby Lobby, and they just have tons and tons of these, especially when they do their 50% off. You can find way better prices and, in my opinion, better quality, or even at Home Goods, to be honest. This one was good. For $19.99, this clay jug, this clay vase, I like that it has a lot of character to it. It's misshapen, and I think that that could work really pretty. It has a Mediterranean kind of feel. These are more from the Honeybloom collection. These little vases I thought were really cute. These could look pretty in a powder room, maybe on your nightstand. And I just like how they have that detail on it with the florals. And then this bud vase caught my eye as well. I really liked the shape of it. It's nice and sleek. It has a natural element to it. Again, $9.99. That seems to be the winning price today. And for a piece like this, I think it's worth it. If you just needed something like to pop next to your kitchen sink or just to cheer up a counter, this is a good section for you to shop. And I've been really liking the arched pieces lately. So this is an arched piece with some pressed floral in there. That I think would look very nice in a powder room and just add a much needed pop of color to a neutral space. I took a quick browse through their outdoor planters and I wasn't crazy about a lot of them. They had some pretty expensive pieces, but then I saw these pieces, which were plastic. So they look more substantial and heavy duty than they are. They were actually really lightweight. This would look really nice on a patio, and the price was great. It was $29.99. It also came in a white color, like a gray and white kind of textured tone, and I could see this on a patio with some beautiful big green herbs in there. I think it would look really pretty. So then we moved over into the frame area. And if you were in the market for some frames, this is the place that you want to be shopping. They have tons of great prices and so many variations in the styles and the sizes that you might need. I really loved this sort of terracotta accent in between this round one, had a lot of nice texture to it. And you don't need to think photos when you find frames like this. You can do printouts that you might find on Etsy or even printouts that you've taken. You can just print out something that you have on your camera roll of landscapes and things like that. I love this arched one, and the prices, as you can see, $7.99, $9.99. Some of them were even $4.99. They're really great options for a collage wall or to decorate a bookshelf. Moving over to the ottoman section, I actually got a lot of questions on my particular ottomans in my home, which I linked for you in my last video, but I did want to peruse the ottoman section here because I think that you can find really good deals in this section. You might have to weed through a little bit, but you can see they have tons of different colors, many different textures. I really like a lot of the color tones that you see here. We have a kids room, like a playroom, that we're in the market for some ottomans. So I was looking around at maybe some options you could find here, but they also had a lot of neutrals and things that I could picture in a living room or a covered porch. Like I really liked this sort of bohemian feel of this orange and cream color ottoman. I thought it was really nice. And for the prices, again, it depends kind of what you're going for. This one in particular, it was $59.99, which was a pretty good deal, I thought, for the size that it was. And when you bring in ottomans, they really do add another layer in the space. So here's some more neutral options for you. Then moving up here, you've got the ones that are a little bit less expensive and are really more for function. So I might use these, again, in a playroom to double down and do storage while also just kind of keeping things neat and tidy. These ones in particular, I thought were really elegant, and I thought the price was really good for them. They were soft, almost like a suede, and I'm not into pinks, and you may not be able to tell from here, but they had like a really nice pink neutral tone to them. And then there were these, which it was hard for me to walk away from these, honestly, because I could picture these underneath my console table in my entryway, or maybe at the foot of our bed in our master bedroom. I loved the shape of it and the lines of it. And it's not real leather, so $89.99 was definitely a push. But I did like, again, the shape of it. I like that it had that little pull on it, so it gave it a little bit more character. And I love the fact that it was neutral. Then they had these. They were actually stocked with many of these ottomans, and I really couldn't understand why. They have this detail on them, which are supposed to be, I don't know, like dots, but you could see the staples in them. And on a lot of these ottomans, they actually looked like they were stained. Like it looked like where those two dots were, where I don't know if maybe buttons were supposed to be there or something, but you can kind of see the stains on them. Was not crazy about these at all, so I would skip over these entirely. I stumbled across this vase. It was kind of in a misplaced section, but I've seen this one a couple times here, and I fell in love with the wood texture and the tones of it, along with the divets. It's $29.99, so it's a really good price. And when I buy things like this, I like to try to find something that I can use year round and maybe just have it look different or freshen it up based on the season that you're in. So that is a pretty good steal for something like that. And then I came over to the potted plants, potted succulent section. And I've said this before, I really do like their potted plants and succulents. They have a huge variety and the quality of them is really good. The prices are really good and way better, in my opinion, than going over to a place like Home Goods for items like this, where they tend to be overpriced and a lot less realistic looking. These are very realistic looking. So I started playing around at home, just kind of styling these. I felt like if I did purchase that vase, I would want something that has a little bit of height maybe next to it. And while I didn't love the moss inside, I know that for $14.99, I could cover it with my own moss. I have a better quality moss that I get on Amazon, and I would just cover all of that on the bottom with the higher quality moss that I have, and I'll link that for you in the description. And then I found this at a even better price, $12.99. And I really loved this potted succulent. It's artificial, but it really could pass for a real looking succulent. And I liked the way that the green tones of the plant went well with the wood. I thought they complemented each other really well in a nice neutral sort of way. But again, just tons of really good quality potted plants that you can find here for very reasonable prices. Like I really liked this little mini olive tree, and the planter was so pretty. It was Mediterranean style. It had that terracotta look with a little bit of green. And for $19.99, something like this would look really nice in a bathroom or on a console table. Next, I headed over to the area where they have all of their bowls and trays, and I found this freeform white distressed dough bowl. And I thought this would be a really pretty piece. It's only $44.99, which is actually a great price for a piece like this. This would look great styled on a dining table with maybe some artificial orchids in it and some moss, or maybe even some seasonal candles. This is a dupe of a high-end piece, I think from Studio McGee. It's only $16.99 here, and I found honestly prettier ones at the thrift shop, so I might skip that. But this is an excellent price for a solid marble piece. I love the fluted lines on it, and that would look really nice either in a bathroom with a candle in it, or maybe on a nightstand in a guest room so people can put their trinkets or a glass of water. This is just a plain old rectangular tray that you can find. $14.99 is a good price for it, and you can dress that up a million different ways. Again, with either candles, you can add some moss, you can add some beads in there, or really anything, and change it out with the seasons. And then I fell in love with that wooden piece. I love all the gray and wood tones in it and the shape of it. This would look really pretty in a bathroom of a powder room with maybe some rolled up washcloths in it or a candle. And then this is a little leather piece, which is a great price. Anytime you can bring in leather to a space, it adds a really natural element that helps to ground the room and warm it up. So now I headed over to the candlesticks, and they have so many, it's almost hard to even choose, but I like to look for things that you can dress up in different ways. Again, change them out for the season. So at $4.99, if you bought like a whole collection of these and maybe scattered them on a dining table and got like a garland or some artificial greenery and sort of wove it through, I like them because you don't have to be precise at how you place them. Once you set tapers in them, taper candles, and then you light them all up, it would look really pretty in sort of like a free form pattern. And these are just some marble tea light holders. And again, that would look really nice, like maybe on a kitchen trivet or in a little reading nook. And then I spotted this one, and this one really caught my eye because it seemed very different and very unique and very in style right now. So we're seeing a lot of these footed sort of lamps and things like that. And this had the same lines. And I love that it was in this like antique brass sort of color. It reminded me of the Studio McGee one that I don't remember the price offhand, but it's definitely way higher price than this. $14.99 for a piece like this. That's a statement piece. I feel like you could even put that up on a shelf without even adding candles to it, and it makes a statement and looks very high-end and really pretty. Heading over to the floral stem section, this was like the biggest disappointment, I would say, of my whole visit there. It was just a mess, and I'm chalking it up to the fact that they're getting ready for their fall items. So it's just been picked over for the spring, I guess, and now that we're about to head into summer, I really hope that it gets cleaned up a little bit because it was honestly really hard to shop. I did manage to pull a few pieces out. Like I liked this stem. I thought that it was pretty if you got a few of those and added them, like to, for example, to the wooden vase that I showed you earlier. But $12.99, and the fact that I would know I would need more of them and I would have to dig through that section, not worth it for me. These were really nice. These kind of gave me the feel of like a dried floral. I like the colors. I like that it's not stark white. Those could possibly work, and you could maybe hide the stems, but for $1.99 a stem, that's actually a really good deal. And then this one caught my eye. It was super pretty, but it was falling apart. So I don't know if you could tell from the video, but like those green pieces that sort of go underneath the blooms there, like this one, it's kind of hanging down the stem, and it would definitely need some work to it. Also, the stem was not realistic, so I don't know, I might skip over that one. On my way out, I had to show you real quick. Of course, they had all of their Halloween stuff out as well, a lot of fall items, and it's still too early for me, but it's there. So there was one piece that caught my eye, and that is this Southern Gothic sort of wreath that they have. And I thought this was a cool piece because it would look good hanging on its own, or you can purchase one or two of these if you have like a double front door or a single. And for $29.99, that's a good price for a wreath like this. You can, again, leave it as it is, or you can stick some Halloween picks in it. Okay, so we're back at home now. I'm gonna show you the item that I picked up from At Home. We're gonna start with this item that you saw me playing around with a little bit in the store. That is this really beautiful wooden textured vase. I love it because it's got so much character to it. See, it has these knots in the wood. It's got areas that are darker, areas that are lighter. It's got all of these beautiful divots in it, so it has a ton of texture. I also like that the depth of it, it's kind of hard for you to gauge, I guess, inside, but you can almost see. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It actually stops like right around here. So I like that I can either put dried floral or artificial stems in here, or I can drop my glass canister inside and put like fresh tulips and things like that in it because it's not all the way to the bottom. So it props it up a little bit, gives it a little bit of height. But again, it's so lightweight, believe it or not, but it's real wood. And I just think that all the different color variations in it are so pretty, and you can do a lot with it in almost any space. That's one of the great things about wood items like this, is that they're kind of classic. They're timeless, and you can really work well for any season in any space. I also like to buy things that I can use repeatedly when the seasons change. Items that you get more bang for your buck. So you can buy them, they're staples, and then you can change them throughout the seasons using just very small tweaks. This, by the way, was $29.99. I think this was the highest priced item that I purchased. And again, I know that this is gonna do a lot of heavy lifting for me because I can use it year round. The second item that I picked up was this plain black tray. You can see how big this tray is. I really liked that it has this divot here on either side. And the reason why I like that is, number one, it gives it extra character so that when you put it on a table, it's not just laying flat. You have this area right here where you can, see a little bit of a design element, but I also really love that you can pick it up very easily. So if I have this, for example, on my dining room table styled for something seasonal, and then I have people coming over, I can easily move it. It's not awkward or clunky. It's also super lightweight. This tray was only $19, $19.99 at Home. And it's wood, solid wood again, and it's a huge size. I like this because this will fill a dining room table. So if you want to, for example, create a fall centerpiece when we get into the season of fall, you can add a few elements to this tray along with maybe some usable items like coasters, candlesticks, things like that. And it will take up a nice space and then also be able to style it again based on the seasons. So like I was saying before, I like to choose something that I can use all year round if I need to, so that I can make it look different based on how I style it. So this again is one of those staples. I never had just a solid square black tray like this, so I know that I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. I think I'm gonna actually style this on the end of our kitchen island maybe put this vase on it. There are tons of things that you can do with an arrangement like this, and I really like the contrast. We have white countertops, so the black tray that's nice and big like this will break up the countertops, and I think that adding a natural element like the natural wood will do a nice job also of adding some contrast, adding a lot of texture, and just making a really cool interest piece on the side of the countertop. All right, so this next item you saw me playing around with a little bit in the store. You saw me styling it in the store, trying to figure out which one I was gonna get, and it is a succulent arrangement. I completely fell in love with this succulent arrangement because it is so pretty and realistic. You can obviously grow succulents in your own home. Not everybody's a green thumb. I like real succulents in particular because they're very easy and very low maintenance, but it's one more thing that you have to do. So if you're busy, you have a family, maybe you don't have such a green thumb, this is something that I would buy and just put it on a countertop. You could even style it on a tray like this. Now, I was telling you in the store during the shop with me portion that At Home definitely stepped it up with its floral arrangements. They have really nice pieces where I never felt that way about the store in particular, but these are very realistic. They don't look plasticky. And if you were to go to Home Goods, for example, I like Home Goods for many different things, but not for their floral arrangements or artificial succulents and things. They tend to look very artificial. So I would probably only buy one of those if I were like hiding it way up top on a bookshelf or something where I'm not going to be up close to it. But if I'm going to be styling this in my space, like on a kitchen counter or on a dining table, I would want to have something realistic. And this is it. And this is actually really lightweight, but what I love about it is that you can see that this looks like a stone, like a heavy duty stone pot, but it's extremely lightweight. It has different colors in here, so you'll see a little bit of browns, a little bit of grays, kind of ties everything together for the neutrals in my space in particular. But the succulents themselves look, again, very realistic, very nice with the colors, and I like that it's a lighter green. So sometimes when you're thinking about doing greenery in your home, you can have a lot of the same, especially if you're in a neutral home. So it's good to pay attention to the different shades of color. So for example, if I were gonna style these side by side, I would probably have darker green stems, or maybe even like a neutral color, like maybe a light yellow or like a white color, and then add this to it so that now you have different color tones, but they all kind of make sense together. So I paid $12.99 for this, and again, good size, lightweight, very realistic. All right, so next up, I did wind up finding a couple of stems in At Home. And you saw from the shop with me portion that I was a little bit disappointed in the floral stem section. These guys were in a different section, but the actual stems were kind of a hot mess in my store. They were, I'm gonna just chalk it up to the fact that they're getting ready for fall, and hopefully it'll clean up at that point, but it was really hard to shop for stems in the actual stem department. But I did actually find two stems that I wound up taking home with me, and they are this really pretty Queen Anne's lace. These stems, again, I've got two of them right here, and they were only $1.99 each. And I really liked them for a number of reasons, but number one being that they looked pretty realistic compared to a lot of the other stems that I found there. I really like the color tone. I like that they just have these white, very faint yellow almost little leaves. I also really liked that they are bendable. So if you saw the earlier portion, the shop with me portion, these were like stick straight like this. And I almost kind of walked right by them. But when I picked them up and I started, touching them, moving them around, sort of playing with them like this, I realized that they were very easy to bend, which is what you want in a stem because you want them to have a very natural look to them. So if I were to just stick straight in a vase, they'd probably look pretty fake. But when you get in there and you start bending them, then it looks like they were found in nature. They look very natural. They look collected, almost like you went out and got them outside from a garden or something. And then you can also fit them into whatever vase it is that you're looking to use them in. If I had probably a few more of these, I guess you'd probably need like 5 or 6 of these to fill it up and really make it look nice and full. So I think in this case, I'd go for a smaller vase, something with not such a wide mouth to it. For $1.99 each, these were a good steal. All right, this last item that I picked up is one of my favorite items. I spotted it in the candle aisle, and it is this brass dual taper candle holder. It's antique brass, And I really love the look of this. It looks very high-end. This is actually a dupe, I believe, of the Studio McGee one. And I don't know the exact cost of the Studio McGee one off the top of my head, but I do know that it is not $14.99. I paid only $14.99 for this at Home. And you can see it's got like that hammered detail on it. It has some indentations there. I really like the legs of it too. And you'll start to see these legs. You've probably seen them already on floor lamps and things like that. We can see them in the Studio McGee line in Target. I believe it's Studio McGee. They have these floor lamps with this shape, with this silhouette, these legs, and this would look really pretty either on a coffee table, maybe on top of like a stack of books. This would also look really pretty on the mantle of a fireplace. You could style these on a bookshelf on top of a stack of books or maybe next to a stack of books. You can use traditional taper candle holders, which of course are about 12 inches tall, or you can buy shorter ones. And I think that you can maybe go 6 inches with these guys and it would look really good. You almost can put these up without even adding taper candles to it because it is just that pretty. It's architectural. It's kind of a statement piece, I think. But for $14.99, you really couldn't go wrong with this. I'm really happy with these items because I feel like the succulent piece was a great one to add in to just spruce things up for summer. And I don't really go too crazy with summer. I kind of save all my energy for fall and for around the holiday season. So in the meantime, I just keep things light. And again, something like this is a really great way to do it. But these other items, like the candelabra I just showed you, like this tall vase right here, the wooden vase, and even that large black tray, these can spruce up my space and refresh it for summertime, but also will, again, carry very well over to through the fall season, through the winter season. Really the only thing that I would probably put away is this succulent piece. I would give it a rest for a couple seasons just because I want to make room for like the oranges and those rich fall colors, and then leading into winter and those like deep greens, evergreens, and the whites and all those winter whites. But the other items can all do double duty and just work throughout the entire year. So all of these items were well under $100. I think it came in around $86, $87 and change for getting all of these items that, again, just give a nice little refresh, but you can do it on a budget. You can find great quality items at home if you know what you're looking for, and I hope that it helps you to spruce up your space for summer. So now I'm taking you inside with me. All that shopping and browsing definitely makes you hungry. So I have all of these fresh greens from my tower garden. And when you pick them off the tower garden, they're nice and crispy and fresh. This yellow squash that I think I'm going to save for later, but I just wanted to show you that this actually produces a lot. So this was all just in one day. I went out and picked these. So that's what, 5 cucumbers and then a yellow squash and a zucchini. But I chopped up some of the cucumbers and I'm adding one more, and I'm just going to use this in the salad. So I'm starting with the base of the salad, like I said, which is some crispy greens from the tower garden. And then I'm just going to add to the top of it some cucumbers. And I'm just breaking up the pieces of lettuce. I'm adding my protein, which for today is going to be some leftover salmon. And then again, just adding those cucumbers to the side of the salad. And then just some fresh blackberries. I feel like if you could add a little bit of a touch of sweetness to the salad, it always tastes better. Next up, for a little bit of salty flavor, I'm going to be adding some of these Castelvetrano olives. I get these from Costco and they are delicious. Then I'm going to sprinkle some pumpkin seeds for a little bit of crunch, and then some hemp hearts, these little shelled hemp seeds, which have a nice little protein boost. A little bit of fresh pesto, which I made in one of my previous videos, and I'll link that recipe for you. And then I'm just going to add some of the dressing that I made in my last video, and it's just a simple, very easy lemon olive oil dressing with some fresh herbs from the tower garden, but it just adds like a nice little zing flavor. Totally reminds me of summer and spring, so this is very appropriate for this time of year. Our bodies tend to like these ingredients during this time of year. They're really refreshing. And that is my salad. Again, it's crunchy, fresh, delicious, really easy. Took me like 5 minutes to pull it together. And when you put all these flavors together along with all the omegas and antioxidants, it makes for a really healthy and delicious lunch. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. If you like videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, let me know what you like best. And I'm gonna style all these for you in my next video so you get to see exactly what I did with them. And I'll see you next time. Take care.